The Book of the Prophet Ezekiel, Chapter 43. Afterward, he brought me to the gate, even the gate that looketh toward the east. And behold, the glory of God of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like the noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory. And it was according to the appearance of the vision which I saw, even according to the vision that I saw when I came to destroy the city. And this vision were like the vision that I saw by the river Chebar. And I fell upon my face. And the glory of the Lord came into the house by the way of the gate, and whose prospect is toward the east. So the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner court. And behold, the glory of the Lord filled the house, and I heard him speaking unto me out of the house. And the man stood by me. And he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne, and the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. And my holy name shall be the house of Israel, no more defiled, neither they nor their kings, by their whoredom, nor by the carcasses of their kings in their high places, in their sittings of their threshold, by my thresholds, and their posts by my posts, and the wall between me and them. They have even defiled my holy name by their abominations that they have committed, wherefore I have consumed them in mine anger. Now let them put away their whoredom, and the carcasses of their kings far from me, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever. Thou son of man, shew the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities, and let them measure the pattern. And if they be ashamed of all that they have done, shew them the form of the house, and the fashion thereof, and the goings out thereof, and the comings in thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the ordinances thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the laws thereof, and write it in their sight, and they may keep the whole form thereof, and all the ordinances thereof, and to do them. This is the law of the house. Upon the top of the mountain, the whole limit thereof round about shall be the most holy. Behold, this is the law of the house, and there are the measures of the altar after the cubits. The cubit is a cubit, and a hand breadth, even the bottom shall be a cubit, and the breadth of a cubit, and the border thereof by the edge thereof found round about shall be a span, and this shall be the higher place of the altar. And from the bottom upon the ground, even to the lower settle, shall be 2 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit, and forth the lesser settle, even to the greater settle, shall be 4 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit. So the altar shall be 4 cubits, and from the altar and upward shall be 4 horns. And the altar shall be 12 cubits long, and 12 broad, square in the 4 square thereof. And the settle shall be 14 cubits long, and 14 broad, and in the 4 squares thereof, and the border about it shall be half a cubit, and the bottom thereof shall be a cubit about, and the stairs shall look toward the east. And he said unto me, Son of man, thus saith the Lord God, these are the ordinances of the altar in the day when they shall make it to offer burnt offerings thereon, and to sprinkle blood thereon. And thou shalt give to the priests and the Levites, and be of the seed of Zadok, which approach unto me to minister unto me, saith the Lord God, a young bullock for a sin offering, and thou shalt take the blood thereof, and put it in the 4 horns of it, and on the 4 corners of the settle, and upon the border round about. Thus shalt thou cleanse and purge it. Thou shalt make the bullock also of the sin offering, and he shall burn it in the appointed place of the house without the sanctuary. And on the 2nd day thou shalt offer a kid of the goats without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the altar, as they did cleanse it with the bullock. And when thou hast made an end of the cleansing, then thou shalt offer a young bullock without blemish, and a ram out of the flock without blemish, and thou shalt offer them before the Lord. And the priests shall cast salt upon them, and they shall offer them up for a burnt offering unto the Lord. 7 days shalt thou prepare every day a goat for a sin offering. They shall also prepare a young bullock, and a ram out of the flock without blemish. 7 days shall they shall they purge the altar and purify it, and they shall consecrate themselves. And when these days are expired, it shall be that upon the 8 days and so forward, the priest shall make your burnt offerings upon the altar and peace offerings, and I will accept you, saith the Lord God. The book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 44. Then he brought me back to the way of the gate of the outerward sanctuary, which looketh toward the east, and it was shut. Then said the Lord unto me, This gate shall be shut, it shall not be opened, and no man shall enter in by it, because the Lord of God, the Lord, the God of Israel, hath entered in by it. Therefore it shall be shut. It is for the prince. The prince, he shall sit in it to eat bread before the Lord. He shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, and shall go out by the way of the same. Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord, and I fell upon my face. And the Lord said unto me, Son of man, mark well, and behold with thine eyes, and hear with thine ears, all that I say unto thee concerning all the ordinances of the house of the Lord, and all the laws thereof, and mark well the entering in of the house of every going forth of the sanctuary. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord God, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations, in that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers uncircumcised in heart, and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house which ye offer by bread, the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. And ye have not kept the charge of my holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. Thus saith the Lord God, No stranger uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary, of any stranger that is among the children of Israel, and the Levites that are gone away far from me. Then Israel went astray, which went astray away from me, after their idols. They shall even be their iniquity. Yet they shall be ministers in my sanctuary, having charge at the gates of the house. And ministering to the house, they shall slay the burnt offering and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister unto them, because they ministered unto them before their idols, and caused the house of Israel to fall into iniquity. Therefore have I lifted up mine hand against them, saith the Lord God, and shall bear their iniquity. And they shall bear not come near unto me, nor do the office of the priest unto me, nor to come near to any of my holy things in the most holy place, but they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have committed. But I will make them keepers of the charge of this house, for all the service thereof, and for all that shall be done therein. But the priests, the Levites, and the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of the sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me, to minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith the Lord God. They shall enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table to minister unto me, and they shall keep my charge. And it shall come to pass that when they enter in at the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them, while they minister in the gates of the inner court and within. They shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and shall have linen breeches upon their loins. They shall not gird themselves with any things that causeth sweat. And when they go forth into the utter court, even into the utter court to the people, they shall put off their garments wherein they ministered, and lay them in the holy chambers, and they shall put on other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garments. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads. Neither shall any priest drink wine when they enter into the inner court. Neither shall they take for their wives a widow, nor her that is put away. But they shall take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had a priest before, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. And in controversy they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge in accordance to my judgment. And they shall keep my laws and my statutes in all mine assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall come to no dead person to defile themselves, but for father and but for father, or for mother, or for son, or for daughter, for brothers, or for sisters that have had no husband, they may defile themselves. And after he is cleansed, they shall reckon unto him 7 days. And in the day that he goeth into the sanctuary unto the inner court to minister in the sanctuary, he shall offer his sin offering, saith the Lord God. And it shall be unto them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance, and ye shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. They shall eat the meat offering, and the sin offering, and the trespass offering, and every dedicated thing in Israel shall be theirs. And the first of all the first fruits of all things, and every oblation of every sort of your oblations shall be the priest's. Ye shall also give unto the priest the first of your dough, that he may cause the blessing to rest in thine house. The priest shall not eat of anything that is dead of itself, or torn, whether it be fowl or beast. The book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 45. Moreover, when ye shall divide by lot the land of the inheritance, ye shall offer oblation unto the Lord, a holy portion of the land, and the length shall be the length of the 25,000 reeds, and the breadth shall be 10,000. This shall be holy in all the borders thereof round about. And this there shall be for the sanctuary 500 in length, 500 in breadth, square round about, and 50 cubits round about for the suburbs thereof. And of this measure shalt thou measure the length of 25,000, and the breadth of 10,000, and in it shall be the sanctuary and the most holy place. The holy portion of the land shall be for the priests of the ministers of the sanctuary, which shall come near to minister unto the Lord, and it shall be a place of their houses, and a holy place for the sanctuary. And the 25,000 of length, and the 10,000 of breadth shall also the Levites, the ministers of the house, have for themselves for a possession of 20 chambers. And ye shall appoint the possession of the city 5,000 broad, and 25,000 long, over against the oblation of the holy portion. It shall be for the whole house of Israel. And the portion shall be for the prince on the one side, and on the other side of the oblation of the holy portion, and of the possession of the city before the oblation of the holy portion, and before the possession of the city, from the west side westward, and from the east side eastward. The length shall be over against one of the portions, from the west border into the east border. The land shall be his possession in Israel, and my princes shall no more oppress my people, and the rest of the land shall they give to the house of Israel according to their tribes. Thus saith the Lord God, let it suffice you, O princes of Israel. Remove violence and spoil, execute judgment and justice, take away your exactions from my people, saith the Lord God. Ye shall have just balance, and a just ephah, and a just bath. The ephah and the bath shall be of one measure, and the bath may contain the 10th part of a homer, and the ephah the 10th part of a homer. The measures thereof shall be after the homer. And the shekel shall be 20 gerachs, 20 shekels, 5 and 20 shekels, 15 shekels shall be your manech. This is the oblation that ye shall offer, the 6th part of the ephah of a homer of wheat. Ye shall give the 6th part of the ephah of a homer of barley. Concerning the ordinances of oil, the bath of oil, ye shall offer to the 10th part of the bath of out of the core, which is the homer of 10 baths, for 10 baths are a homer, and 1 lamb out of the flock of 200 out of the fat pastures of Israel, for a meat offering, and for a burnt offering, and for a peace offering, and to make reconciliation for them, said the Lord God. All the people of the land shall give this oblation for the prince in Israel. And it shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings and meat offerings and drink offerings in the feasts and in the new moon, and in the Sabbaths, and in all the solemnities of the house of Israel. he shall prepare the sin offering, and the meat offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offering to make reconciliation for the house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord God, in the first day of the month thou shalt take a young bullock without blemish, and cleanse the sanctuary. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering, and put it upon the posts of the house, and upon the four corners of the settle of the altar, and upon the post of the gate of the inner court. And so thou shalt do the 7th day of the month for every one that erreth, and for him that is simple. So shall ye reconcile the house. In the first month of the 14th day of the 10th of the month ye shall have the Passover, a feast of 7 days. Unleavened bread shall be eaten, and upon that day shall the prince prepare for himself and for all the people of the land a bullock for a sin offering. In 7 days of the feast he shall prepare a burnt offering to the Lord, 7 bullocks and 7 rams without blemish, daily the 7 days, and a kid of the goats daily for a sin offering. And he shall prepare a meat offering of a ephah for a bullock, and an ephah for a ram, and an hin of oil for a ephah. In the 7th month, in the 15th day of the month, shall he do the like of the feast of the 7 days, according to the sin offering, according to the burnt offering, and according to the meat offering, and according to the oil. The book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 46. Thus said the Lord God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but the Sabbath it shall be opened. And in the day of the new moon it shall be opened, and the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without, and shall stand by the pass of the gate. And the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offering, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. Likewise the people of the land shall worship at the door of the gate before the Lord at the Sabbaths and in the new moons. And the burnt offering that the prince shall offer unto the Lord in the Sabbath's day shall be 6 lambs without blemish, and a ram without blemish. And the meat offering shall be an ephah for a ram, and the meat offering for the lambs, as he shall be able to give, a hin of oil, and an ephah. And in the day of the new moon it shall be a young bullock without blemish, and 6 lambs and a ram, they shall be without blemish. And he shall prepare a meat offering, and an ephah for a bullock, and an ephah for a ram. And for the lambs according to his hand shall attain unto, and a hin of oil to an ephah. And when the prince shall enter, he shall go in by the way of the porch of that gate, and he shall go forth by the way thereof. But when the people of the land shall come before the Lord in the solemn feasts, he that entereth in by the way of the north gate to worship shall go out by the way of the south gate, and he that entereth by the way of the south gate shall go forth by the way of the north gate. He shall not return by the way of the gate whereby he came in, but shall go forth over against it. And the prince in the midst of them, when they go in, shall go in, and when they go forth, shall go forth. In the feasts, and then the solemnities of the meat offering shall be an ephah to a bullock, and an ephah to a ram, and to the lambs as he is able to give, and an hin of oil to an ephah. Now when the prince shall prepare a voluntary burnt offering or a peace offering voluntarily unto the Lord, one shall then open him the gate that looketh toward the east, and he shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, as he did on the Sabbath day. Then he shall go forth, and after his going forth one shall shut the gate. Thou shalt daily prepare a burnt offering unto the Lord of a lamb of the first year without blemish. Thou shalt prepare it every morning. And thou shalt prepare a meat offering for it every morning, the 6th part of an ephah, and a 3rd part of a hin of oil, to temper with the fine flour, a meat offering according by a perpetual ordinance unto the Lord. Thus shall they prepare the lamb and the meat offering and the oil every morning for its continual burnt offering. Thus saith the Lord God, if the prince give a gift unto any of his sons, the inheritance thereof shall be his sons, it shall be their possession by inheritance. But if he gave a gift of his inheritance to one of the servants, then it shall be his to the year of liberty. After it shall return to the prince, but his inheritance shall be his sons for them. Moreover, the prince shall not take of the people's inheritance by oppression, to thrust them out of their possession, but he shall give his son's inheritance out of his own possession, that my people be not scattered every man from his possession. After he brought me through the entry, which was at the side of the gate, unto the holy chamber of the priests, which looked toward the north, and behold, there was a place on the two sides westward. Then said he unto me, This is the place where the priests shall boil the trespass offering and the sin offering, where they shall bake the meat offering, and they bear them not out into the utter court, and sanctify the people. Then he brought me forth into the utter court, and caused me to pass by the four corners of the court. And behold, in every corner of the court there was a court. In the four corners of the court there was courts joined of 40 cubits long and 40 cubits long and 30 broad. These four corners were of one measure, and there was a row of buildings round about them four, and it was made with boiling places under the rows round about. Then said he unto me, These are the places of them that boil, where the ministers of the house shall boil the sacrifices of the people. Afterward, sacrifices of the people. The book of Ezekiel, of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 47. Afterward he brought me again unto the door of the house, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward. The forefront of the house stood toward the east, and the waters came down from under the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. Then brought he me out of the way of the gates northward, and led me about the way without unto the utter gate, by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side. And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters. The waters were to the ankles. Again he measured 1,000, and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees. Again he measured 1,000, and brought me through. The waters were to the loins. Afterward he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over, for the waters were risen, waters to swim in. A river that could not be passed over. And he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen this? Then he brought me and caused me to return to the brink of the river. Now when I had returned, behold, at the bank of the river were very many trees, and on the one side and on the other. Then said he unto me, These waters issue out toward the east country, and go down into the desert, and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the waters shall be healed. And it shall come to pass that every thing that liveth, which moveth whithersoever the rivers shall live. And there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live without the river whither the river cometh. And it shall come to pass that the fisher shall stand upon it from En-gedi, even unto En-eglaim. They shall be a place to spread forth nets. Their fish shall be according to their kinds, as the fish of the great sea, exceeding many. But the miry places thereof and the marishes thereof shall not be healed. They shall be given to salt. And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months. Because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. Thus saith the Lord God, This shall be the border, whereby ye shall inherit the land according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph shall have 2 portions, and ye shall inherit it, one as well as another, according to which I lift up mine hand to give it unto your fathers. And this land shall fall unto you for inheritance. And this shall be the border of the land toward the north side, from the great sea, the way of Hethlon, as men go to Zedad, Hamath, Berothach, Sibraim, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of Hamath, Hazar Chatikon, which is by the coast of Hauran. And the border from the sea shall be Hazar Enan, and the border Damascus, and the northward, and the border of Hamath, and this is the north side. And the east side ye shall measure from Hauran, and from Damascus, and from Gilead, and from the land of Israel by Jordan, from the border unto the east side, east sea, and this is the east side, and the sea side southward from Tamar even to the waters of strife in Kadesh, the river of the great sea, and this is the south side southward. The west side also shall be the great sea from the border till a man come over against Hamath. This is the west side. So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you, which shall beget children among you. And they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. And they shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith the Lord God. The book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 48. Now these are the names of the tribes from the north end of the coast, of the way of Hethlon, as one goeth to Hamath, Hazar Enan, the border of Damascus, northward of the coast of Hamath. For these are his sides, east and west, a portion for Dan, and by the border of Dan from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Asher, and for the border of Asher from the east side even unto the west side, a portion of Naphtali, and by the border of Naphtali, and the east side unto the west side, a portion of Manasseh, and the border of by the border of Manasseh, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Ephraim, and by the border of Ephraim, from the east side even unto the west side, a portion for Reuben, and by the border of Reuben, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Judah. And the border of Judah from east side unto the west side shall be the offering which ye shall offer of 25,000 reeds in breadth and in length, as one of the other parts from the east side unto the west side, and the sanctuary shall be in the midst of it. The oblation that ye shall offer unto the Lord shall be of 25,000 in length, and of 10,000 in breadth, and for them, even for the priests, shall be this holy oblation toward the north 25,000 in length, and toward the west 10,000 in breadth, and toward the east 10,000 in breadth, and toward the south 25,000 in length. And the sanctuary of the Lord shall be in the midst thereof. It shall be for the priests that are sanctified of the sons of Zadok, which have kept my charge, which went not astray. Then the children of Israel went astray, as the Levites went astray. And this oblation of the land that is offered shall be unto them a thing most holy by the border of the Levites. And over against the border of the priests of the Levites shall have 25,000 in length, and 10,000 in breadth. All the length shall be 25,000, and the breadth 10,000. And they shall not sell of it, neither exchange nor alienate the first fruits of the land, for it is holy unto the Lord. And the 5,000 that are left in the breadth over against the 25,000 shall be a profane place for the city for dwelling, and for suburbs, and the city shall be in the midst thereof. And these shall be the measures thereof: and the north side 4,500, and the south side 4,500, and on the east side 4,500, and on the west side 4,500. And the suburbs of the city shall be toward the north 250, and toward the south 250, and toward the east 250, and toward the west 250. And the residue of the length over against the oblation of the holy portion shall be 10,000 eastward, and 10,000 westward, and it shall be over against the oblation of the holy portion, and the increase thereof shall be for food unto them that serve the city. And they that serve the city shall serve it out of all the tribes of Israel. All the oblations that shall be 520,000. By 25,000 ye shall offer the holy oblation foursquare with the possession of the city. And the residue shall be for the prince, and on the one side and on the other of the holy oblation, and of the possession of the city over against the 25,000 of the oblation, toward the east border and the westward. over against the 25,000 toward the west border, over against the portions of the prince, and it shall be the holy oblation, and the sanctuary of the house shall be in the midst thereof. Moreover, from the possession of the Levites, and from the said possession of the city, being in the midst of that which the princes between the border of Judah and the border of Benjamin shall be for the prince. As for the rest of the tribes from the east side unto the west side, Benjamin shall have a portion. And by the border of Benjamin, from the east side unto the west side, Simeon shall have a portion. And by the border of Simeon, from the east side unto the west side, Issachar a portion. And by the border of Issachar, from the east side unto the west side, Zebulun a portion. And by the border of Zebulun, from east side unto the west side, Gad a portion. And by the border of Gad, at the east side and the southward, and a border shall be even from Tamar unto the waters of strife in Kadesh, and unto the river toward the great sea. And this is the land which ye shall divide by lot unto the tribes of Israel. For inheritance of these are their portions, said the Lord God. And these are the goings out of the city of the north side, 4,500 measures, and the gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes of Israel. 3 gates toward the gate of Reuben, 1 gate of Judah, 1 gate of Levi, and at the east side 4,500, and 3 gates, and 1 gate of Joseph, and 1 gate of Benjamin, 1 gate of Dan, and on the south side 4,500 measures, and 3 gates, 1 gate of Simeon, 1 gate of Issachar, 1 gate of Zebulun. At the west side 4,500, with their 3 gates, 1 gate of Gad, and 1 gate of Asher, and 1 gate of Naphtali, and it was round about 18,000 measures. And the name of the city that day shall be the Lord God, the Lord is there.